Shalom Aleichem, Assalamu Alaikum, Irini Mazisu, Pax Vobiscum. Welcome to the Septuagint versus the Masoretic. This video is going to be all about Passover. I'm not going to do one big video. I'll divide it into smaller videos, more focused topics, but it's important to get this, to base Passover on the scriptures, not my interpretation or my opinion. Just look at the scriptures. What do they say? Now, I've already done a video looking at the timing of Passover in terms of what is required to determine the new year. And again, this is based on not only the sighted moon calendar or the visible crescent moon, which determines the new month, but it is also incumbent that the barley is Aviv or Abib in Israel, and this is not the fields that are planted. These are wild fields. These are naturally occurring, what was planted by Adonai. And these barley that has ripened, that are Aviv, are at the medium dough stage. So at the point where when you take the barley and you squeeze it, it is of the texture and consistency of medium dough, not like a slimy worm and not too dry. So it's right, just ready, it's ripe. So it's Aviv, and there's enough that it's growing in patches, not harvestable fields, but there's enough to collect an omer. And some individuals and groups have actually, not really groups, more of one group in particular, I believe it's a sighted moon group, that already kept Passover last month. Again, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's actually more, what's the word? They're being more covering their bases in a way. It's I don't have the word on my head right now, but it basically they're doing it carefully. Okay, so in the event that the Passover they kept last month was not correct, well, they can do a second Passover, which is pretty much today. It started. This is the 14th day, which again the day starts in the evening. So this is technically, scripturally, the 14th day of the first month. Again, going by the 7 species that Rebecca Bitterman has identified in her channel, Ancient Path New Moon. A very good ministry and very thorough in her examinations, her observations and assessments. Very, very thorough. So, having said all that, let's look at the Bible. On the right is the Masoretic text. On the left is the Septuagint. So this is, again, these are the Moedim, the feasts of the Lord, of Adonai, not any one nation or specific people group. These are his feasts, which prophetically will be kept by all mankind, as mentioned by the prophets, the minor prophets. I believe that's Zechariah, if I'm not mistaken. Either Zechariah or Zephaniah, but I'm going to go with Zechariah. So verse 5, it gets to the feast that, again, based on the evidence presented from Rebecca Bitterman and the new moon, the visible new moon, this is the 14th day of the month, the first month, which is right now. And notice this cryptic language between the evening times. You'll notice in the Masoretic it says at evening is Adonai's Passover. And then it goes on to explain the 15th day of this month. I don't think we're going to cover that today, but we'll see. So that's one aspect of it, and that is in the feast chapter, I like to call it, the Moedim chapter, Leviticus 23. So that is part 1. Okay, so I want to answer this question. The question that will be asked is, what does this mean between the evening times? So we have the 14th that evening, and we have the 15th that evening, which is not even, that's not the same day. That's the next day. So what does between the evening times mean? Well, we have to look in Exodus uh, for more information. The historical Passover, I believe the first one that was observed. Okay, so that's Exodus chapter 12. And it gives us more specific details that were not provided in Leviticus chapter 23. And it's right in this verse, uh, verse 6. Now, again, the Masoretic, it's a little more, not cryptic, but it's presenting a false uh, time, a false timing. So it says here, if you're just going by the Masoretic or the King James version of the Old Testament or the Tanakh, I don't like calling it the Old Testament, but the Tanakh. It reads like this: "And you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month," talking about the lamb that that is selected on the 10th day of the month. Okay, in verse 3 it mentions that. "And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening." So what is the evening? That would be the 14th day. So right now they would kill it in the evening. Problem is, did they kill Yeshua in the evening? We're going to find that out in another video. It won't be in this video, but let's look in the Septuagint now. It says, "And it shall be kept to you, or by you. It shall be kept by you till the 14th of this month." Again, referring to the lamb that was selected on the 10th day of the first month. "And all the multitude of the congregation of the children of Israel shall kill it." Notice this, toward evening. Toward evening. Okay, let's pause. Okay, so in the Greek, in the original Greek, the words here, which is towards evening. Let me just look at it one more time. Toward evening is pros hespera. Pros means toward or nearby. Hespera is evening. I've got two other Septuagints. One is the Lexham. I just got that recently. And it reads in 12 verse 6. The same thing as the Brenton's does. It says, so slay it toward evening. Okay, so toward evening, so not during the evening. However, this Orthodox Study Bible is also another version of the Septuagint on its own, and it says, kill it at twilight. So I'm going to investigate that a little more. Okay, I had to look up twilight. I know it's a little embarrassing. Twilight is evening. It's not between the evenings. It actually is evening. So that is a mistranslation in that Orthodox Study Bible. Both the Lexham and the Brenton Septuagint agree. There's consensus that it is pros, which is toward or nearby, hespera, evening. So near the evening, not during the evening, but approaching the evening. Okay, so okay, I don't know if you can see that. So I have 3 copies, or not 3 copies, 4 copies of the Septuagint. So we've got the Brentons, the hard copy, the digital one, as you see on the screen, or that I usually use. We've got the Lexham, that's a second one. We've got a third one in the Orthodox Study Bible, and then we've got a fourth one, which is the Nets, the New English translation of the Septuagint. I completely forgot about that, so let's look at that one. And I haven't looked this up. Looking this up right now. "It shall be kept for you until the 14th of this month, and all the multitude of the congregation of the sons of Israel shall slay it," the lamb, "towards evening." So towards evening. Okay. So in that case, let's look at the Passover week during Yeshua's time. It actually gives us even more details as to when that was. When was towards the evening. So we're looking at the number of the day, it would be Wednesday, would be the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is correct. So this is the night portion, which is right now. And then when is the lamb supposed to be killed? He was killed at the precise moment, the precise hour it was supposed to occur, during the daytime of the 14th, which is coming up when the sun rises in my area. So when is that precisely? Okay, let's look. It says Yeshua is crucified at approximately 9 a.m. So he was crucified. Doesn't mean he died. He was in the process of dying. When did he actually die? Yeshua dies at approximately 3 p.m. Okay, so 3 p.m. Now, can we back that up with scripture? Okay, so we have the scriptural evidence to show what does this mean towards the evening. And the truth is revealed via the truth, Yeshua, HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. It says here in Matthew 27, verse 46, about the 9th hour, Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? So that's one witness, Matthew 27:46, the 9th hour. Next witness, Mark 15, verse 34. And at the 9th hour, Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, saying, I just read that in the other one, so the 9th hour again. And that is when he died. Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, breathed his last. So that's a second witness. Third witness, Luke 23, verse 44. It was about the 6th hour. There was darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. The sun was darkened. So this is now the 9th hour. Verse 46, when Yeshua had cried out with a loud voice, he said, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Having said this, he breathed his last. This is, again, the 9th hour. What is the 9th hour? Well, it's not the evening. Let's read this little entry here in theholyscript.com. What is the 9th hour? Most Christians know that the 9th hour refers to 3 p.m., or the hour that Christ took his last breath and died on the cross. So what is the significance of this? The 9th hour is mentioned in various places. Again, the moment when Yeshua died, the exact moment, and that's when the lambs were killed, historically. Okay, so they're going into more to the significance of it, but the true significance, I would say, especially in regards to Passover, is that this gives us a precise moment. There's nothing cryptic about what the timing of Passover. So this video is all about the timing of Passover. Could have done this a little more efficiently, but I decided to do it this way. Again, we started in Leviticus 23, where it said between the evenings. That's what it said in the Septuagint. What does that mean, between the evenings? We looked in Exodus 12, verse 6. It said towards the evening, and then we went even deeper, looked at the Passover week, the historical fulfillment of Passover, which is Yeshua being the Lamb of Adonai, of Elohim. And it tells us in 3 different places in the apostolic writings that Yeshua died in the 9th hour. That is not in the evening, that is toward the evening. That is what we call in our modern day afternoon. So he died in the afternoon, 3 p.m. Again, not in the evening, not in the morning, not in noon, but precisely 3 p.m. or around that time. So that is the timing of Passover. I hope this video helps you in terms of understanding that. Wanted to make it as simple, express this as simply as possible. And thank you for your time. Shalom Aleichem. Assalamu alaikum. Irini Mazisu. Pax Vobiscum. Peace be unto you. Maranatha. And if you're observing Passover, Chag Sameach. Hag Pesach Sameach. Happy Passover to you. And if you're not, study these things. I'm not trying to condemn anybody. It's simply my opinion based on based on the scriptures. And, I respect all diversity of opinions about this topic, about the feast days. But it's important that as our foundation, as our foundation of proving these things is the scriptures, nothing else. And so prove all things. And that's what that was my objective in this video. So thank you very much for your time. And until next time, we'll do another video on this topic of Passover.